Good day, dear students. Let us start lecture number 4. So, in the last class, we learned about a brief history of blockchain technology and its timeline. We also learned about electronic cash. We also learned the man behind all this technology. No doubt it is a mystery. His name is Satoshi Nakamoto. Today, we will see various definitions, various properties, the network view of a blockchain, and the generic structure of a block. So, many people, they have defined in a various ways what blockchain is. Let us stick up to the important and famous definitions of blockchain. The layman gave the definition that blockchain is an ever-growing, secured, shared record-keeping system in which each user of the data holds a copy of the records, which can only be updated if all parties involved in a transaction agree to update. What does the layman definition tells? Blockchain is an ever-growing, secure, shared record-keeping system in which each user of the data holds a copy of the records, which can only be updated if all parties involved in a transaction agree to update. Second is the technical definition. It tells that blockchain is a peer-to-peer distributed ledger that is cryptographically secure, append-only, immutable, that is extremely hard to change, and updatable only via consensus or agreement among peers. The technical definition is blockchain is a peer-to-peer distributed ledger that is cryptographically secure, means cryptographic algorithms we are using here to make it secure, and it has got property append only, it has got property immutable, extremely hard to change, and updatable only via consensus or agreement among peers. That is the technical definition. We will see in the next slides what is peer-to-peer, what is distributed ledger. Okay. The business definition is a blockchain can be defined as a platform where peers can exchange value, that is electronic cash, using transactions without the need for a centrally trusted arbiter. The business definition is a blockchain can be defined as a platform where peers can exchange value, that is electronic cash, using transactions without the need of a centrally trusted arbiter. There are so many definitions. These three are very important definitions regarding blockchain. What is peer-to-peer? If you have studied computer networks, you might be knowing what is peer-to-peer. The first keyword in the technical definition is peer-to-peer. This means that there is no central controller in the network. That is a distributed system, and all participants talk to each other directly. This property allows for cash transactions to be exchanged directly among the peers without a third-party involvement, such as by bank. So what does it is a core concept. This peer-to-peer is a core concept of distributed system. There is no central controller in the network, and all participants have the privilege that they can talk, they can interact directly. They talk to each other directly. The next is, this is very important, distributed ledger. Dissecting the technical definition further reveals that blockchain is a distributed ledger, which simply means that a ledger is spread across the network among all peers in a network, and peer holds a copy of complete ledger. So all the transaction details, everything, it is going to be stored in the ledger. That ledger is a distributed one. This ledger is cryptographically secure, which means that cryptography means the science, the technology which is going to secure our data, that is called the cryptography, has been used to provide security services which make this ledger secure against tampering and misuse. So misuse cannot happen because we are using this cryptography. Two basic properties we learned in the previous slide that came in the previous slide, that are append only and updatable via consensus. What is append only? Another property, one of the property of blockchain, important property of the blockchain is that we encounter that blockchain is append only, which means that data can only be added to the blockchain in time ordered sequential order. What does it mean? Data can only be added to blockchain not haphazardly, but in a time ordered sequential order. Timestamp is there and it is maintaining a sequential order. This property implies that once data is added to the blockchain, it is almost impossible to change that data. That can be considered practically immutable. Means practically not possible to change the data. How it is going to happen? That is because of the append only property, that the data can only be added to blockchain. In which fashion? In a timely ordered sequential order. That is called the append only. The second important property is updatable via consensus. The most critical attribute of the blockchain is that it is updatable only via consensus. So in the Byzantine's problem also we learned that if there are some nodes which are malicious, then how to solve this problem? This problem can be solved. We will see the majority of nodes what they tell us. This majority is nothing but we are calling it a consensus. This is what gives it power to decentralization. In this scenario, no central authority is in control of updating the ledger. Instead, any update made to blockchain is validated against strict criteria defined by the blockchain protocol and added to blockchain only after a consensus has been reached among all participating peers or nodes on the network. If any data in any block has to be changed, it means that all the blocks, they should agree. That is called the consensus. Upon reaching the agreement, then only we are going to change the data. That is, we are going to update the data. We are not telling that once the data is stored, it cannot be updated. Obviously, it can be updated only through consensus only. The data can be updated in the blockchain. We will see the network view of blockchain. It may be important for you. So this network view of blockchain, it is in the block diagram. We can see in the bottom layer, that is internet. It is very obvious to understand that whatever transaction, whatever we are doing, we are connected via internet only. So after that internet, we are seeing, because these two peer-to-peer network is there, it is a distributed environment where all the nodes are connected to each other. There is no central thing which is going to control. The internet is connected to this internet. If you go, next step is peer-to-peer network. All this has been in the one block. You can see this, all these things, the transactions, the various blocks, the consensus approach, the state machine, and the blockchain applications. On the top, we are having the blockchain applications. How they are working? We are having the state machines that are, it generates the token, it maintains the timestamp, and we are having the concept of consensus, wherein if we want to change any data, all the blocks, they should agree, isn't it? So this is one part, and the top end, they are the users or the nodes. This is the network view of blockchain. If you see from network point of view, how the blockchain technology look like, it look like these are the end users. These are the various applications and the protocols that are being used, and beneath it, this is a distributed system. So the whole thing is becoming live because of the internet. This is the network view of a blockchain. So in the last class, I think in the first class, we learned about what is blockchain architecture. In that blockchain is a chain of block that contains the data. We can see that information is stored, the data is stored among various blocks. I just because we want to see what is Genesis block. It is an important thing. A blockchain is a chain of blocks which contain information. The data which is stored inside a block depends upon the type of blockchain. The first block is called the Genesis block. The first block. A block is merely a selection of transactions bundled together and organized logically. A transaction is a record of an event. For example, the event of transferring a cash from sender's account to beneficiary account. A block is made up of transaction. See, this block is made up of various transaction information stored in each block. And it varies depending upon size and the type of the blockchain in use. A reference to the previous block is included in the block until it is a Genesis block. What is Genesis block? A Genesis block is the first block in the blockchain that is hard coded at the time of blockchain was first started. We can call it as a mother of all the blocks. It is the mother of all the blocks. That is the Genesis block. A Genesis block is the first block in the blockchain that is hard coded at the time the blockchain was first started. That is the first block in series is called the Genesis block. The structure of the block is also dependent on type and design of the blockchain. So this is very basic structure of the blockchain, and we are calling the first block as a Genesis block, which is hard coded at the time when we are going to start this blockchain. So now we will see the generic structure of a block, how a block look like. As we all know, all the information is stored in the block. So we have got two things here, block body, another is the block header. What does this block body has? The block body has got list of transactions. Various transactions are there. They are stored in the block body. What is there in the top? You have got Merkle root, timestamp, nonce, and pointer to previous block's hash. As we all know, each block is connected to another block. It has got a pointer so that it can be connected to the previous block. What is a nonce here? Nonce or nonce. Nonce is a number that is generated and used only once. See, I have marked with yellow color. Only once it is used. A nonce is a number that is generated and used only once. A nonce is used extensively in many cryptographic operations to provide replay protection, authentication, and encryption. So something like they are maintaining only one copy, means only one single unique. That's why they are using a number is generated that is used only once. That is called nonce. It is used for the protection, authentication, and encryption of the data. And what is a Merkle root? A Merkle root is a hash of all nodes of a Merkle tree. There is a big tree. As we know, there are several blocks. There is a big tree. So Merkle root is a hash of all nodes of Merkle tree. What is a hash? Hash is a function that meets the encrypted demands needed to solve for a blockchain computation. So hash is a function. It is a cryptographic function. So Merkle root is hash of all nodes of a Merkle tree. Merkle trees are widely used to validate the large data structure securely and efficiently. What are these Merkle trees? The tree composed of so many roots. So what this tree is used? This Merkle tree are widely used to validate the large data structure securely and efficiently. In a blockchain world, Merkle trees are commonly used to allow efficient verification of transactions. That is one important thing. The new term is nonce and another is Merkle tree.